for the sake of time, but obviously a regulatory system is better, but it's difficult for governments to do. And this is the voluntary system, the stick and carrot. It's like getting a donkey to move. You hit the food industry with a stick and you give them a carrot at the same time, and that gets them to move. This is some of the publicity we've had in the UK to get this policy going, and you need to have it in your own countries, showing to the public, the other officials in the government and to the food industry that salt is important in putting out our blood pressure and is killing us. And here's a press release about salads sold by supermarkets which have a lot of added salt in, because the ingredients, salad of course doesn't have salt in it, but all the ingredients you put in, the bacon, the cheese, the ham, the bits of bread, bring it up to very high amounts. And you can see when the caricature for the paper starts doing that, you know you're winning the battle. So we have been successful in the UK, and we're still reducing salt. We've reduced it by 15% in the last 6 years. Much slower than we would like, but that has already reduced strokes and heart attacks by 18,000 events a year, 9,000 of which are fatal. That's more than all of the people who die in road traffic accidents. In fact, twice the number of people who die in road traffic accidents in the UK. And this is just an example. This is a reduction of bread. The average level of salt's come down in bread in the UK. And no taste problems, no reduction in sales, and we think the salt target should be reached by around 2016, but we'll go below that. We now have the lowest salt intake of any country in the world. Cost-effective thing, which is very important for you, £5 million a year was spent on the campaign, and healthcare savings have been 1.5 billion. So that's for one real spent, you save 300. Name me a single public health policy that's as cost-effective as that. Very attractive to all of you to institute this, because it doesn't cost very much. Look at this. This is in developing and middle-income countries, a paper looking at the costs of reducing salt against cigarettes. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't reduce cigarettes, and I agree entirely with my colleague Douglas that we must do something about that as well. But look, salt is actually more effective at a lower cost in developing and middle-income countries. These are our world action groups all over the world, and action is taking place in many countries in the world to reduce salt, while the WHO and the WHA and others go on talking forever about what they're doing. What we want is action now, and action from you. You're able to do it, so let's see salt intake being reduced. South Africa has set a very good example as a developing country. The Minister of Health, along with the Ministry of Trade and other accepted ministers, have decided to regulate the food industry and have set targets that the food companies have to stick to. So salt intake will fall, and that has been aimed particularly at the black population in South Africa, who are particularly sensitive